Good day, wizards. Welcome to Slave Legacy at the Cape, including religion of Islam and the development of the Afrikaans language. At the end of this lesson, wizards will know the religion of Islam, the effects of Dutch settlement on the Khoi, Dutch immigration to the Cape, the movements of the Trekboers, and the Khoi. Let's start with the religion of Islam. Many of the slaves that the VOC brought from the East Indies were Muslim. In 1693, Sheikh Yusuf of Makassar in the East Indies was sent to the Cape because he was involved in a war against the Dutch. At the Cape, Sheikh Yusuf taught many slaves about Islam. By 1840, 6,435 people had converted to Islam at the Cape, which was third of the total population of the colony. In the late 18th century, a mosque and a madrasa were established in Cape Town. Development of the Afrikaans language. Slaves came from many different places and therefore spoke different languages. At the Cape, all slaves had to learn Dutch because it was the language they had to speak with their masters and owners. The Afrikaans language developed from a combination of the Dutch spoken by people from the Netherlands and the language spoken by the slaves. Now, free burgers is an Afrikaans word for citizen. Dutch and French Huguenot immigrants to the Cape. The settlement at the Cape was unable to grow enough food to feed the people living at the settlement, as well as the ships stopping for refreshments. To help solve this problem, Van Riebeeck allowed some of VOC employees to become free burger. Farmers' free burgers were free citizens of the Cape who did not work for the VOC. The first 9 free burgers were given farms along the Leesbeek River in 1857. Although they had to sell their produce to the VOC, they owned the land they farmed. At this point, the Cape began to change from a refreshment settlement to a colony. When the Khoi saw Dutch farmers beginning to settle on the land, they became worried about losing their grazing lands. Now let's look at the effects of Dutch settlement on the Khoi. The number of free burger farmers decreased. The Khoi lost their herds and more Khoi grazing land was taken over for farms. The Khoi did not give up on the land without resistance. They poisoned the water holes and fought a number of battles and civil wars against the Dutch. The Khoi lost against the Dutch, who had guns and horses. The Khoi were forced to give up much of their grazing land to the Dutch. Without grazing land, they lost their livestock and were forced to work for free burger farms alongside slaves. Now, Dutch immigrants in Cape Town. Wizards, when people in the Netherlands heard people were being given farms at the Cape, they decided to immigrate to the Cape so they could own their own land.